Good morning. My name is Jamie Shaw. I'm a senior CAD support specialist for the Illinois Department of Transportation, and today we're going to talk about importing your summary quantities into OpenRoads Designer. First thing you want to do is go down to Start and click on Settings, which I already have settings open, and then in the Settings tab you want to go to Apps. You want to go to Personalize, go to Fonts, and then you'll have this option in here, drag and drop install fonts. So you want to navigate to your i.CAD, which mine is on my C drive, so i.CAD, configuration, organization civil, i.standards, and then you want to find your fonts. And you want to just pick up the engineering TTF fonts. Don't copy the text because it won't copy over. Then you just right click, or you don't, not copy, but you just want to highlight all three of them or all of them and drag them over to here. I've already done it. So if I go in and type, you see I already have the engineering fonts installed. We just highlight all these engineering TTF fonts, drag them into here, then I'll add them in. So when you go open Excel or Word or anything, it has the TTF fonts installed in it. So the next thing you want to do is you want to go to the IDOT webpage, go to procurement, scroll all the procurement and engineering architectural services, and then scroll all the way to the bottom, hit consultant resources, and then go to CAD. And under CAD, you want to go to summary quantities and download whatever summary quantity spreadsheet you're using for whatever letting. And I downloaded the March 11, 2022, and I already have it downloaded. So the next step is to open our spreadsheet and go in and select your quantities. And we'll do some channel excavation and some trench backfill and some topsoil. And some seeding class 2A, and then we'll scroll down. And we'll do a high mix asphalt base course, and then we'll do binder course and surface course. And I'm just randomly picking them. And then once you do that, you go get all your quantities picked that you're going to use. You go up here and hit create the SOQ. Give it a minute, and it will create the summary quantity sheet. Now once SOQ's done, you'll have an items and quantities sheet over here, and then you want to go back to the pay item descriptions, and you want to do a format, and then I'll format your summary quantities. You'll have item types and summaries over here. It'll format your quantities to have the proper spacing and all that stuff. Tell it okay, and then everything's ready in here. We probably should have added the structure number stuff in the pay items. Or actually in the quantities. I think you can add them in here for roadway. We don't have a structure number, so and go back to the pay items, hit format again, and it should format them. Well, I didn't pick it, so no big deal. But we just want this format with the spacing and everything in here. That's all we need right at the moment. And then after we get that set up, we can go in and add some quantities, say units, so say 20, 30, 22 acres. And I'm just randomly adding numbers in here, so it's not a big deal. So once we got all that done, we want to go up and save everything we've done, and we'll get this out of the way. Okay, now I've created a Summary of Quantities DGN, 2D DGN, and it's a completely blank DGN. I want to go to the Drawing Production tab, and I want to hit Place Table. But before we do that, we need to look at our spreadsheet. Let me bring my spreadsheet back over. And we need to look at our columns. We're going to do an A1, and the bottom of it is F26. So we're going to go Place Table, and we're going to choose From File, and then we're going to go choose our Summary of Quantities, and then hit Open, and then you want to check Summary of Quantities. You want to do Manual, and we want from A1 to F26. So get all that in there, hit OK. We want to check contains title row and contains header row, and then we want to click inside here and let it generate the Summary of Quantities. So it starts generating the table, and then it gives you the Summary of Quantities to place. Okay, so now if we go back to our spreadsheet and say we want to change the acres to 30 and channel excavation to 550, trench backfill to 400, stuff like that. Go in and save what you just did, and then if you come back here and highlight the table, a new ribbon will open up, and if you go, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see, go refresh from table, give it a minute to generate the table, and it goes in and updates what I changed, 30, 550, 400. So your table is linked now to OpenRoads Designer, to the Excel spreadsheet. So any changes you make in the spreadsheet, save them, do update, refresh data from table, it'll update your quantities. There's another way to do this too, is we'll take our spreadsheet and do a file, save as, and we want to just add an _2 here and hit save. And then we want to go into our spreadsheet here, and we want to highlight all of these and say delete, and then we want to save it. And then move it over out of the way. So another way to do this is to go in, and I'm still working on this table a little bit. I'm trying to get it to format exactly like the existing table, but it's working somewhat and somewhat not working. But you can still bring them in, go from file from Excel. The seed, you want to go to Summary Quantities, and then you want to go pick the new Summary Quantities table that we just picked, and then hit open. And it's gonna should ask you for the same thing. So we want Summary Quantities, automatic or manual. But before I do that, let's cancel this and let's go add some quantities so you guys can see the difference. So I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna add some quantities to the part 2 of this one, and then we'll come back and we'll fix it. Okay, I went in and added a couple pay items. Hot mix asphalt surface removal 2 inches, driveway pavement removal, concrete barrier removal, and paved shoulder removal. So the ones I went and added. So let's cancel out of that and let's go place table again. Let's pick on summary or the spreadsheet. We want to set the seed to summary of quantities, and then we'll go pick our sheet again, and we want number 2. Hit open. It's going to pop up and ask us for our fields again, so we want to set it to summary quantities, set it to manual, and we're going to go from A1 to F34 now. So F34, and we hit OK, and then we want to uncheck contains title row and header row, and then data point inside, and then I'll generate your table, and there's the table I just generated with proper formatting and everything. Give ORD a minute to catch up. And this table is linked just like this table is, and you see it's got all your formatting and stuff like that. You'll notice that there's a lot of empty spaces. So if you have a big long set of summary quantities you need to fit on a sheet, you have this little glyph. Actually, I think if you scroll to the bottom, this glyph down here is the one, and you can drag this up. And if you need to span it over a couple sheets, you can do this. Bring it up, and it'll create additional sheets over on this side. And if you look at the properties and set your repeat headers and repeat footers to yes, then it'll maintain your header and your footer over here. So after we get our tables set up, we want to put them on a sheet. We just go to drawing production, go to name boundaries, place name boundary, and we want to pick from drawing boundary and set it to detail sheet, and then give it a name. And then we want to give it a scale, 1 to 50, and then we want to check the create drawing dialog box. And you can see that's a little bit big, or not big enough, so we want to maybe bump it up to 1 to 100. But instead of doing that, let's cancel out of this. Go to our element properties, and let's pull our table back down so we only got one table. And then we'll go back to drawing production, go to place name boundary. We want a 1 to 50. As soon as you place the name boundary, the create the drawing dialog box comes up. I think you want to set this to 1 to 50, and then we want to hit OK, and then there's your summary of quantity sheet. Now this stuff down here at the bottom, it will fill in as soon as you add it to a sheet index. If you set up all your properties inside of in the workset setup guide. So if you set a workset, I've got a project of D95-875, you'll have a column over here that you fill in all the workset properties, and I can show you that real quick. So go to sheet index, click on this button to make your sheet index active, go to your home tab, go to model properties, grab your sheet and drag it over. Close that, and you see they still didn't open when I opened the sheet index. Just go click the down arrow on your sheet index, right click, and go update sheet model properties, and you see it all changes. Why that section callout's in there, I don't know. You can delete it. Let's see, it adds all your information that you filled in from your work set. So hopefully this was beneficial to you, and that's all I have for you today on importing summary quantity sheet. So if you have any questions, make sure you email me or contact me, and I can walk you through it. Thank you very much.